Hey, I'm going to make this quick. This is a message I got yesterday after I said something in a video, and I think it could impact you. And if so, I want you to follow suit like this messenger did. I'm going to keep their identity anonymous here. I'm sorry I had to cancel my membership. It was only $2, but I'm on disability. It's getting harder to budget what I need. I debated a couple of months because if I could afford to, I'd give a lot more. The message at the end of one of your Wednesday shows finally let me see that it was okay. I still hate it. Thank you for the support you've given, even though you shouldn't have been giving to support this channel if you're on a disability, if you're on a fixed income. No, I say that all the time, and I mean it. There's a lot of people on YouTube who have channel memberships, who have merch, who have different fundraising mechanisms to support their work, and I'm no different. I guess maybe I am different in the way that I don't want your money if you don't have it to give. I want you to take care of yourself. It is what is paramount. It's what's most important, absolutely. So if you're in this situation, cancel your channel membership like this person did here, right here. I'm not going to encourage you to cancel on somebody else, but if it's me, cancel your membership if you're in a tight spot. Here is 45 seconds of what sparked this, and take it to heart. I mean it. If you don't have the money, cancel your membership. There are other ways to support. Anyway, here's what I said yesterday, and then we'll get straight to the video. On the note of supporting independent media, if you have an extra $2 a month, if it's extra and you could throw it out the window and you'd like to help support this on a monthly basis, please do. Not if you're on a fixed income. I do not want your money if it is painful or sacrificial in any way. Take care of yourself. That is what's most important, especially in these times. If you're giving right now as a channel member and it's painful to do so, turn off your channel membership. Please, please. But if you have $2 extra a month, become a channel member, click the join button below, or go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Well, the roller coaster ride of Donald Trump's tariffs lasted 13 incredible hours. 13 hours. It's so great. It's so great the way Donald Trump treats his staff. They deserve every little humiliation that they suffer at his hands, every single one. And I'm going to play one of them for you right now, and that is Karoline Leavitt, who on Tuesday was asked in a White House press briefing, are there going to be pauses? What's going on with this? Is he going to be, are these are steady tariffs? They're just here? And she's like, look, these are not going to be paused. The president has made up his mind. This is the policy going forward. Yes. And then the next day, whop, whop, wow. Yeah, I mean, really, I wish I could do the mashup thing, but we'll just play them not back to back. Let's first watch her. Yeah, this is it. This is the rules of the road going forward. You're going to bend the knee to Donald Trump. Here was Tuesday.
Elena.
Hi, Caroline. It's clear the president has gotten the world's attention with these tariffs. Is he considering at all potentially holding off on imposing some of them before the deadline, or maybe later, reversing them because he's having these negotiations and having these good talks with other leaders?
The president was asked and answered this yesterday. He said he's not considering an extension or a delay. I spoke to him before this briefing. That was not his mindset. He expects that these tariffs are going to go into effect. And you said something very important, Elena, in your question. You said the president has captivated the attention of the world. Absolutely, he has. And it's about time we have a president in the Oval Office who is putting the world on notice and is putting the American people first.
Yeah. Putting the American people first and putting the world on notice. No, there will be no consideration of holding off. This is not what's going to take place here. Donald Trump is a strong, bold, transformative leader. What's the SpongeBob? 13 hours later. I can't do the French accent. But that is what took place. Here she was yesterday, panicked and reversing course.
The tailor-made negotiations that I spoke about yesterday. In the meantime, there will be a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs as these negotiations are ongoing.
So they paused. Now, the narrative you're hearing in the media is that they just turned off all of the tariffs against the world. That's not what she said. I'm going to play her full statement, but the media is not getting this story correct. What they're doing is replacing all of the draconian, insane tariffs with just a flat 10% across the board. That's what she just said. I'm going to play her full remarks, like a minute and a half or something. Let's see how long they are. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. A minute, 9 seconds. A minute, 9 seconds. You can watch her full remarks before she throws it to Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. But the media is failing you by giving you incomplete and incorrect information that actually puts Donald Trump in a better light than he should be painted, because they haven't just done away with the tariffs. They're still doing damage. It's still going to be 10% inflation on top of what already exists, which is probably 2 or 3%. This is bad for the world economy. This is destruction, even at this level, for the American economy. Again, here's that minute, 9 seconds of Karoline Leavitt's full statement.
We understand you have a lot of questions, so in the effort of transparency, we're here to talk about the president's latest statement regarding his America First trade plan. As you all know, the president just put out a statement announcing an additional tariff on China. The tariff on China will now go up to 125%. because China imprudently decided to retaliate against the United States. And as I said at the podium yesterday, when you punch at the United States of America, President Trump is going to punch back harder. In that same vein, we have had more than 75 countries from around the world reach out to President Trump and his team here at the White House to negotiate better trade deals for the American worker. We have been overwhelmed with the amount of requests from countries around the world. I'll let the Secretary speak to that. We will continue with the tailor-made negotiations that I spoke about yesterday. In the meantime, there will be a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs as these negotiations are ongoing, and the tariff level will be brought down to a universal 10% tariff. The Secretary here has been a huge part of the President's trade team, of course, and will continue to lead these negotiations moving forward to look out for the American worker, which is always President Trump's goal. So I'll kick it over to our great Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent.
Kick it right over to the great Treasury Secretary. So listen, there's several issues here we need to talk about. One is the coming right out and saying, in an effort for transparency, if you really have to work at transparency, you're not being transparent. It should be a natural inclination for our government to include the details that we are rightly privileged to. We have a right to, not a privilege. So don't fight back is the narrative to China. First of all, 125% tariff against China in a retribution type manner. And she says, if you punch back at the United States, if you return fire against the United States, President Trump is going to punch back even harder. Donald Trump starts the fight. Other countries act as they should in defiance of that abuse, and then they get punished even more. I guess Donald Trump, who is adjudicated in court as a sexual abuser, I guess his mantra for the world is just lay back and take it, right? 90-day pause, but universal 10% tariff. And that is that's the rub here that the media is failing to get across to you. 10% tariff means any product of all of these countries, like 190, whatever the number of countries is, 10%. All of those goods that you buy from the United Kingdom, I mean, unless you're buying stuff from Russia, because there's no tariffs on Russia, of course, no tariffs on Russia. But any other country, 10%. And this is after he paused the bond market from absolutely collapsing and all of these countries and other people calling in the debt that is owed to them by the U.S. Treasury in Treasury bonds. That's what did it. I'm going to get to that in a later video. But this is just yet another example of Donald Trump's fly-by-night, chaotic style of governance. It gives it a little bit too much panache, gives it like it's a strategy. Donald Trump is just an abject dumb shit who just whatever pops into his head, whatever conspiracy theory, whatever nonsense, whatever dysregulated understanding of our history that he has rattling around in his empty fucking dome, that is how he governs. And then when all the experts, when what they said would come to pass comes to pass, he panics and realizes, oh, I need to reverse course, but we need to be able to save face in doing so. So they act like, and we're going to get to some of that later in another video, they act like this was all part of the strategy. They have to go out there and embarrass themselves, humiliate themselves on a global stage, and deny the reality that we're all living in. Karoline Leavitt, tip of the spear of humiliation here. It's all very, very gross. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Follow me on the social media if you're there. I'd love to see you. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.